So, I see you Dehya mains over there. I've seen the Reddits, I've seen everything. I've seen you guys saying that she's worse than Aloy and Xinyan combined. And I'm here to tell you, stop trying to take the crown away from Aloy's worst character in the game, because that's not happening. I'm not going to be talking about Dehya's kit. Most of you guys know Dehya's kit and the state she's in. I'm not going to be talking about any of that. I'm going to be talking about Aloy's kit and explaining why it's going to be very impossible for Dehya to be worse than her. So stop trying to take my girl's crown as worst character in the game. That's the whole reason I built this character. To build the worst character in the game as good as I could. And I don't think anyone's going to be taking that crown anytime soon. So let's start from the top up. Let's start from stats on Aloy. Why is Aloy the worst character in the game? Well, she is technically a 5-star. You go to character selection, you can see she is a 5-star. She is technically one, although it's special because she has a red background. But she is a 5-star. So we're going to be looking at her through a 5-star lens. You go to details, you will see her base attack, her base defense, etc. is the lowest in the game for any 5-star. It's lower than a Traveler. Her base attack is so low that you have to run 2-piece attack on her. 2-piece, 2-piece, attack, attack, to try to stack enough attack to make her somewhat usable. So even with these cracked out stats, she's still really bad. Let me explain why. So her normal attacks obviously deal physical damage on normal. And then you use her skill to go ahead and throw these mines out. And once these mines, I think once 4 hit people, so she gets enough stacks. But not too quickly now. There's a 0.2 second duration. There's an ICD on actually generating stacks. So you can't hit them too fast. But you can hit them enough to where you can actually generate 4 stacks. To where you can trigger her cryo infusion. And then you do somewhat decent damage. Now with Kazuha, if you go ahead and plunge with Kazuha and you leave this little like circle thing, this actually is a good way to trigger it. Let me go ahead and show what I mean. If I go ahead with Kazuha, I come over here and I just jump up. I pop this and then I pop that. You'll see all the balls kind of get gathered up, and it's a good way to actually trigger it because then I've hit them all because they're slowly pulled in thanks to Kazuha's secondary vortex. But outside of Kazuha, this is virtually impossible to actually trigger on her own. If you don't have any way to actually group it, you know, gene, skill, or anything, you're really never going to trigger that. It's virtually impossible. And then we get into her actual multipliers, which are insanely low. Her multipliers are god-awful. Luckily, this adds some normal attack damage bonus by 29%. Rushing Ice normal attack damage bonus goes up by 48%. The Freeze Bomb damage actually has a decent multiplier, 320%. The Chill Water Bomblet damage is 72%. But here comes the fun part. It is a 20-second damn cooldown. Look, 20 seconds before I can use this again. You will go through 2 rotations before you can use her skill again to try to help generate energy. That's why a lot of people use her with Sacrificial Bow, so she can be a battery to try to generate energy for the main cryo damage character. But using her as an actual solo character is borderline trolling because it's just really hard because her cooldown is just that long. So now we get to one of her actual good portions, her ult. Has a decent multiplier at 647 with a cooldown of 12 seconds and energy cost of 40 seconds. Short cooldown, low energy cost, decent multiplier, pretty okay. We get to another good thing about her, which is Aloy receives a cold effect from Frozen Wilds, which is this. Her attacks increased by 16%. It's a one-time thing. It doesn't stack. It does refresh, but it doesn't stack. While nearby party members' attack is increased by 8%. So basically is always giving an 8% buff to your team, with a 10-second downtime, because remember, 20-second cooldown. When Aloy is in rushing ice state conferred by Frozen Wilds, her cryo damage bonus is increased by 3.5% every 1 second, a maximum. If cryo damage bonus can be, so she can get up to 35% cryo damage bonus. That's okay. Because the thing is she really doesn't have the attack stat to supplement all this extra cryo damage bonus percent, because they kind of ruined her in base stats. So, how on earth is this character ever going to have somebody worse than him? Because there's another thing you have to take into account. She will never have constellations. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 passives that other characters are going to have on her, plus 6 more whole levels. This is 4 passives that other characters get. Literally any other character in the game gets 4 more passives and 6 more entire levels. Literally any character has potential in this game to be better than her solely off the fact that she can't get constellations alone, not counting how actually terrible her kit is due to low damage and high cooldowns. She is just a really bad character. And that's why I built her, because she's not good. And I keep seeing Dehya mains saying Dehya's worse than Aloy. It's not possible. You can't. You can't be worse than Aloy because you have access to constellations. I don't care if you're not going to wail for them or not. I don't care if the constellations are bad. That's still 4 more passives. I digress. And I'm going to also let you know this much. Aloy is literally unusable without Shinha. Because if you use Shinha, if you don't know how Shinha works, she basically gives whatever cryo unit you have as main her damage. You build her pure attack, and then she just gives whoever is cryo and currently active on the field her damage. So it ends up making Aloy actually deal decent damage because Shinha exists. And you can just use Shinha to actually buff up Aloy. Dehya, I don't believe, has a buffer like that. So that's one detraction that's one thing that Aloy actually has over Dehya. But I'm telling you guys, stop saying Dehya is worse than Aloy, because it's literally not possible. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.